Star Trek may be the most famous example of the genre, but my first guests, in their quiet, homegrown way, are equally as revered and just as deeply missed. Take a look at this. Reunited from all 19 corners of the universe, please welcome from Blake 7, Gareth Thomas, Michael Keating and Jacqueline Pearce. Well, thanks very much for joining us this evening. I'm a fan of most science fiction stuff on TV, but I remember Blake 7 very fondly. Remind me, that, Gareth, I told you, because you were Blake, of course.
Yes.
Before the beard, you were Blake.
Yes, and before the weight went on and the hair went grey. And yeah.
Now, how long ago was it the series actually ended?
I think it was 10 years it actually finished.
A long time, isn't it?
But it's been kept going in America, over here. It's extraordinary.
And they've just released them on video as well.
Yes, we're in the top 10.
Oh, fantastic. There you go. Just beaten by Postman Pat and Bill and Ben or something,
yes.
Don't they?
Well, between them.
Did it surprise you that it has such a following? I mean, when you were doing it at the time, did you think that it would live on?
Not live on as much as it has, but yes, we thought it was going to be a cult programme. Yeah. Because any science fiction is. Look at Star Trek, look at Doctor Who. Do
you think that was the appeal, or do you think there was actually more than just the fact that the genre was science fiction?
No, I think it was a totally new concept at the time, and it just took off, and it was wonderful. We actually beat Coronation Street on one episode.
Now, Michael, you were Vila, of course.
I was.
You were always the coward.
Well, yes, I was careful about what I did, where I went. In fact, they did change my character slightly in one episode because my daughter, Lisa, she was 6, and she said, "What a Burke you are, Father." And I told the script editor, and he actually wrote an episode for me where I killed the villain, got the girl, and then left her on the planet. So it changed slightly.
Just a little bit there.
Yeah.
But the plot, if I remember, basically was the fight against tyranny. It was you versus the Federation, the evil Federation, as personified by Jacqueline, her role, which we'll get onto in a minute. But do you think, was there more to it? Was there a sort of subplot that
I think originally it was going to be a sort of Dirty Dozen in space, but there was a big thing about violence on television in 1978. I don't remember.
BBC could only afford 7 anyway.
That's, well,
was that why it was 7? That's why it wasn't Blake's 23 or something?
Yeah,
it was just a budgetary thing.
In fact, there were only 6 of us, as I remember.
And the voice.
And the voice.
The honorary 7th, I believe, was in the audience this evening. Jacqueline, you played... Now, what was the name of your character again?
Sutherland.
That was a great character as well. She was a nasty piece of work, wasn't she?
A baddie.
A baddie. Thank you, Gaza. Yes, Gaza is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let's remind us as to what it was like, because we have a clip to show you, and this should take you back, and I'm sure it will view it. This was the clip, Blake 7, all those years ago.
I think they're going to kill me, Travis. With or without orders from the Supreme Commander.
With orders, Blake. All right, Travis. Go ahead.
Don't move.
Good shot, Avon.
I was aiming for his head. You took your time. What have you been up to?
We had a few minor problems.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on, man. Why don't you kill us?
No. I've got a better idea. We'll get a message through to the Federation. Tell them that you let us take Orac. I'm sure they'll be quite fascinated by your explanation.
Dear.
I remember watching that. It's a terrible pimple he had as well, wasn't it?
Oh,
that was awful.
Terrible.
And I said, you were a villain, of course, but were you still a popular character? Did you get much fan mail?
Yes, she was a very popular character, and I think it was because what made her interesting was she was very feminine, a very feminine woman in the way she looked, and that developed as the series went on. but she looked like a woman and she behaved like a man. And I think the combination was very interesting.
It's always excited me knowing, certainly. Now, what about the props that were used in it? Because you can tell, and this is no disrespect intended, that it didn't really bust the BBC budget.
No.
I think they spent more money on some of Bruce Forsyth's toupees than they did an entire 4 series of Blake 7. Did they disappear? We have some copies of them here, but what happened to the originals?
Well, they did disappear. I remember at the end of the first season, we were down to 1 gun.
One gun, I think, yes, I think
And
one
one
gun,
belt, which didn't fit either of us.
which meant we had to have close-ups all the time.
So who was wandering off with these? You know where they were?
Who knows?
Just going off there.
We only had one of the bracelets, too.
Well, we've got some of the things here. This is...
A
what
Federation helmet.
And now these are worn by people who collect the poll taxes. Where you see these. You have to make sure your census form is done in correctly. And these were the various ray guns. So this, I believe, was the first ray gun, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Sort of hairdryer.
You don't often see these things outside of clinics these days,
No.
do you?
Well, that one works.
Yes.
Well, now, these have been made by some of your fans. I know some of the Blake 7 fans. Are they active? Do they keep in touch with you?
Oh, yes, so very much so. They're superb, actually.
Yes, they are.
There's no fan like a Blake 7 fan.
Well, we have some in the audience that said, I want to go and ask them a few questions to find out. So if you'll just hang around here. Let's see who we have here. Now, I think, if I'm right, you're Diane, is that right? You're Diane. Now, Diane, so what's the appeal for you as one of the super Blake 7 fans? What is the appeal of Blake 7?
It's really the characters, the way they interacted, the humour, and the way they evolved throughout the series. They continue to grow, and we continue to follow them. Also, the appeal, I think, is the spaceships disguised as hairdryers and kitchen utensils flying. That was very good. And Avon's black leather, that was...
So you like the black leather?
Yeah.
You like the guy with the bad eye, no doubt. What, if people wanted to join the fan club, what kind of things would they get out of being... Is Horizon the name of your fan club?
It's called Horizon. We've been going for 11 years. It's our birthday this week, actually.
Well, happy
11
birthday.
years. Thank you. We do a newsletter. They get 4 of these, and if the camera can see it there,
Yeah.
and a photograph of their favourite character, membership card, and also there's more merchandise like little bits and pieces, fan fiction, technical manual, mugs.
I can see we have a lot of people in the
photos,
audience
everything.
now keen to join already.
They've already joined.
How much does it cost to join up?
£8.50 a
What a
year
bargain.
in the UK.
Well, there you go. Well, you
get
can sign me
4
up for some of those.
It's pretty good. You
And
can
do
have
you get to meet up with the Blake 7 people often?
From time to time they do conventions and they come to some of our fundraising things. We do a lot of fundraising. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of when it was first shown, we raised £6,000 for charity.
And is it an amicable thing, or do you like follow them home and peek through the windows and stuff?
Well, we try, but you know.
They won't have any of that. Well,
No, they shoot us with the ray gun.
Well, I should imagine they would, yeah. So obviously a loyal...
Oh, yes, very much so.
A loyal following there.
Oh, yeah.
And do you attend the conventions? Do you join in actively?
Well, we can, yes. Obviously, it depends on work, because we have to work if we can. But mostly, yes.
So with as loyal a following as that, why was it cancelled then? Why did the BBC pull the plug?
Well, we don't know, but one of the obvious reasons was that you had 2 protagonists, basically, Blake and the Federation.
Yeah.
There's a limit to how far you can go without one of them winning.
Yeah. And Blake got killed off, of course, in the end, didn't he?
Yes.
So that kind of, I guess, makes it harder to carry on with Blake 7 when Blake's no more.
Then I was informed by a fan that, yes, but in episode something there was a clone, and perhaps it was the clone that got killed.
That would have been handy, wouldn't it? If you were asked, would you do another series? Would you shave the beard off and get back out there and start?
If I could lose the weight, yes.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he died and then put on a lot of weight and came back. That's what happens to people when they pass away. Clones eat a lot more. So you would do another series?
Oh, yes.
So, let's ask you, would you like to do another series of Blake 7? Well, what a surprise coming from this bunch over here. Listen, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
I hope there's another series. I'd love to see maybe a special or something. That'd be great.
Thank
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank
Michael,
you.
Jacqueline and Gareth. Thank you.